Kei ngā kahika o te Nehenehenui tēnā rā tātou katoa. Nau mai, haere mai ki te whare o te reo irirangi o Maniapoto. Welcome to another webinar series, Te Puna Kōrero o te Nehenehenui. Tonight, we have the honour of being joined by some of our Maniapoto servicemen and women in a special ANZAC online broadcast. They will share their thoughts about what ANZAC Day means to them and how their respective journeys in the Defence Force has helped shape who they are today. As always, you still have the opportunity to engage with our guest panelists if you have any questions or even any special acknowledgements that you wish to share with our servicemen and women tonight, or if you have whanaunga currently serving in the Defence Force that you wish to mihi to, you can pop those remarks in the comment section via our MFM Facebook page. Well, ANZAC Day is next Monday, the 25th of April. It is New Zealand's most important day of national commemoration. It marks the anniversary of the first major action by New Zealand and Australian forces during the First World War, landing on the Gallipoli Peninsula in Turkey on the 25th of April in 1915. Since then, New Zealand's commitment to serving in the Defence Force has continued throughout the generations, with ANZAC Day now recognising all New Zealanders who have served in wars overseas. Joining us tonight are men and women from Maniapoto who are currently serving within our New Zealand Defence Force, and I am extremely honoured to welcome Tia Campbell-Ricard's able chef, Royal New Zealand Navy, Hannah Sarank, able medical assistant, Royal New Zealand Navy, leading seaman Claude Wehi, combat specialist of the Royal New Zealand Navy, Petty Officer Michael Montgomery, weapon technician from the Royal New Zealand Navy, and Lance Corporal Nehua Brock, personal trainer with the New Zealand Army. E mihi ana ki au koutou katoa, ko tai mai nei ki te tautoko e te reo karanga o te kaupapa tēnei pō tēnā rā tātou katoa. We really appreciate your presence tonight and again, honoured to be sharing this time with you all. Now, just before we say hello to all of our guest panelists tonight, for our whānau at home, you might have seen that we would have had AC Ngāti Hewitt of the Royal New Zealand Air Force. She was expected to join us this evening, but has unfortunately been called away at the last minute. Nonetheless, we want to acknowledge her mahi as a safety and surface technician with the Royal New Zealand Air Force. But it's great to see everyone tonight, and again, especially grateful to have a representative from the various arms that make up the New Zealand Defence Force. I know a lot of our whānau are eager to learn more about yourself and what your mahi entails, so let us go around the room for introductions, ko wai koe, no whea koe, and what marae you affiliate to, and if we go in a clockwise motion, I think we come to you first, Hannah. Tēnā koe.
Kia ora, I'm Hannah from TK. My marae is Te Piriru Papakanga. I'm in the Navy. I'm training to be a medic down in Burnham, and I've been in for 2 years.
Tēnā koe, Hannah. Thank you for coming on board this evening. Great to have you here with us. Next to you, we have Petty Officer Montgomery from the Royal New Zealand Navy. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe te katoa. Ko Michael Montgomery tōku ingoa. Nō Otorohanga hau. Ko tiko teitanga te marae. Currently serving in the Royal New Zealand Navy on ship HMNZS Te Kaha, and have just clocked over my 15 years service. Kia ora koutou.
Tēnā koe, and congratulations on achieving your 15 years of service. Let's head now down to Tia tēnā koe, Tia Campbell-Ricard from the Royal New Zealand Navy.
Kia ora. Thank you for having us on here. I'm able chef Tia Campbell-Ricard. I'm from Mōkai Kuhanui and Mōkai Kainga. I'm a chef in the Royal New Zealand Navy, and I'm coming up 6 years. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you on board, and certainly dinner time is a place to be at your place, so tēnā koe. Next to you here we have Mr. Wehi, who's from the Royal New Zealand Navy. Now, it's actually a little bit of a title. It's a leading seaman combat specialist, Wehi from the Royal New Zealand Navy. Tēnā koe te tuakana.
Kia ora, kia ora te iwi. My name's Claude Wehi. I've been in the Navy for 16 odd years. And I'm from Pure Te Kuiti, and repping Te Kuiti pā napi napi riri ahu.
Ka pai. Tēnā koe. Great to have you on board. And last but certainly not least, the man himself from the New Zealand Army, Lance Corporal. Tēnā koe.
Kia ora tātou katoa, ko Autahi Rehua Proctor Ingoa. Kia ora. So I spent 4.5 years in the Army. Just made the transition at the beginning of last year from infantry to physical training instructor. Now taking care of 120 recruits at a time in Wauru. I come from Te Kuiti, at a small place repping out at Te Koropatu Marae.
Kia ora, tēnā koe. And we'll talk more a little bit about your mahi in the New Zealand Army. Now, I know our whānau at home, they've seen the titles that you all hold within your respective mahi. So maybe if we could just talk a little bit about what your mahi entails and maybe just talk to us a little bit more about your title. And I know that it's just gone dinner time for most of our whānau. So maybe if we can start with you, Tia, and talk to us a little bit about your mahi as able chef with the Royal New Zealand Navy.
Yeah, so I'm a chef in the Navy. Obviously, we cook heaps of kai. We feed all our sailors. I work ashore at the moment as I have a young family. My husband's posted to ship and he goes to sea at the moment. So that's us. Yeah, I just cook the kai. When we go to sea, we cook the kai. We do everything that you need to do when you're at sea to keep our ship afloat, and yeah.
Nice. So if you're heading overseas and you're serving on, for example, te kaha, how many meals would you dish out? I guess in a dinner serving.
It depends. Each ship has a certain amount of pers on each ship. So the last ship I was on only had 35, which was great, but you could have 180 even more. So it just depends. At the galley that I'm working at the moment, before COVID, we'd have 350 to 500 people coming through a meal. So it's a lot of bulk cooking. And then if we're going with the officers, we do fine dining and all the nice fancy kai that everyone loves. But yeah, each day is different for me. So yeah, that's good.
And for us civilians, if you like, so galley is the term, or it's referred to as a kitchen.
Yeah, just a bigger version. Yeah, we call our kitchens on ship galleys. Yeah.
Okay. And Michael, you said that you're currently serving on te kaha. Talk to us a little bit about your mahi, and I guess what's the food like on te kaha?
Roger. So my mahi involves supervision and sort of administration of the maintenance of our weapon systems on board. That's everything from the big systems you see on the front and the back to your small personal weapons. So again, as for the kai, we're currently in maintenance period. So Tia would send her kai out to our outstation. So we receive whatever Tia makes for us. So that's how we get our kai at this stage.
Nice. Now you touched on weaponry, and I know that you've got a little bit of a title there as leading seaman combat specialist Claude Wehi with the Royal New Zealand Navy. So I guess you kind of know what Michael and his mahi is on te kaha. Can you just kind of share with us what your mahi entails as the leading seaman combat specialist?
Yeah. So we'll fire the weapons and they'll clean them. But as a seaman combat specialist, we're a kind of a jack of all trades kind of trade. So we're doing boarding operations like fishing vessels, also refueling other ships at sea, and force protection on board. So just protecting our ships, and a lot of gunnery. So your machine guns, your rifles, pistols, and training the fleet and all those kind of weapons.
Mm-hmm. And I guess just talking about weaponry, is everybody that's in the Navy, do they carry sidearms? Can I ask that question? Is it okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. So for the Navy, you just have to qualify every single year and using a weapon, either a rifle and a pistol or both. So that's what our trade will do. We'll qualify all sailors, regardless if they're an officer or a rating, through their process. Once they've got the tick in the box for the year, they are able to proceed to their posting to sea.
Nice. And I guess from, weaponry, we go to the other end of the scheme of things and look at the medical side of things. And that's where you come in, Hannah. Can you just talk to us a little bit about your role in the medical field?
Yeah, so my own mahi's a bit different, so I'm still under training. So I'm based in Burnham, down in Christchurch, with all the army pers. But yeah, pretty much we learn primary healthcare, so we learn about, cough, colds and all that good stuff. Also, we get taught trauma, so like gunshot wounds, burns, all that, and we get put under scenarios. And from there, we get experience on the ambulances with St. John. Yeah, so a bit of everything, really.
Nice. Well, I'm sure that you'll be looking forward to your first posting, wherever that may be. And last but not least, certainly coming to you, Lance Corporal Rehua Brock. I guess, first of all, let's talk about the Lance Corporal, because we're, as civilians, we're not really familiar with, I guess, the title. So could you share with us a little bit about the Lance Corporal ranking, and then just a little bit about the role that you do as a personal trainer in the New Zealand Army?
So a Lance Corporal is a role that gives you entitlement to boss other people around. It's, for example, going back to infantry terms, he's a 2RC to a corporal. So a corporal bosses around 10 people, and then a 2RC, which is a Lance Corporal. If the corporal goes down, then the Lance Corporal goes up and then bosses everyone else. That's pretty much my role as a physical training instructor, but we're bossing around 120 people instead of 10 people. It's just to give us that opportunity, so they know, they can recognize that we have rank, we have a say, we have leadership to boss people around.
Mm-hmm. And with that, obviously, you'll certainly need that as a personal trainer. Just what's some of the challenges that you may experience, or that's associated with your role as a personal trainer with the New Zealand Army?
Different fitness levels, also different age categories. So we have our bosses, our hierarchies, like our petty officers, and also our warrant officers and everything. We get to boss them around, so we hold the power for that kind of area, like with the fitness tests, and also getting their skills up to scratch when it comes to fitness, especially in all services, especially. Fitness is a key role to play in our services, and pretty much that.
And just talking about challenges, if I come to you, leading seaman specialist wehi, combats specialist wehi, you've got a very important role. You've got a very important mahi. Can you just talk to us about the challenges that you experience in your role, and the challenges that's associated with your role? Because I guess for us civilians, I guess it's just making sure that the right bullets are going to the right gun. So, can you just share with us some of those challenges in your role?
Yep, sweet as. So, being a leading hand, I've kind of found that we focus more on safety now. Like I read before, we were focusing on what's required of you at the job that we have, but now we are focusing on the safety of our people and the people under them, and also training. So we get a lot of good training with the Navy. I've just finished my petty officer's course, so going up to the next rank, and heaps of awesome training, and also training that can take us, if we do want to go outside into the civilian world, we'll get qualifications.
Yeah. And coming to you, Michael, at the other end of I guess the weaponry mahi, just what are some of the challenges that you experience in your role, and I guess in particular when you're serving on Te Kaha?
Some of the challenges that we would was just ensuring our equipment's safe, to ensure our personnel remain safe. So we can't hand over something that we know is defective or feel may come defective to other pers and still have a piece that that'll be okay. So our main challenge is that wear and tear is a big one on our end. As Claude said, he likes to have a bit of fun with our equipment. It'll come back to us. And then from there, we'll replace and renew what we need to on those bits of kit.
Ka pai. And if I can come to you, Tia, I guess, one of the challenges I'm assuming is that, there's not enough kai to go to all the savers. Would I be right in that regard? Have you ever been short?
Not me personally, but it can happen. It's just depending on, like, especially if you're at sea, your rations, your food runs low and you've only got frozen veg. So you've got to you've got to have a bit of imagination and figure out how you're going to make this kai taste mean and look mean and just feed everyone. But I think our challenge is that we hold everyone's happiness on ship. So we call it morale. If our food's not great, or if we don't have enough, or if we're busy and we're having to help. So the chefs, we help the medics out a lot if they need help or if they're short, or we might have to help, let's say, Claude's trade, and we have to berth the ship. We have to do a lot of that as well. And so if we run late doing that and we have to get back and we're late to put we call our slide up, then the ship's morale can go downhill and everyone's not the happiest. And then, and not everyone's unhappy on ship. So we hold the happiness on ship.
Nice. Yeah, and another important role that you do have too there, Tia. And if we come to you, Hannah, I know that, you've said that you've just only been a short time in your role in the medical field. What have you seen so far as a medical assistant with the Royal New Zealand Navy? Is there anything that has kind of made you rethink if this is the career for you, the right career for you?
So part of our training, we get to post to different camps just to get a bit of experience. So I've worked in Linton and Trentham military camps. I've also, as I was saying before, worked for St John for a couple months. And I think from those experiences, it definitely reinforced this is the career for me. Saw a lot of real life trauma. A lot of sick people. I think it just reinforced this is a good career for me.
And your role as a medical assistant with the Royal New Zealand Navy, are you just responsible just for the people in the Navy, or once you get deployed, you can be used to help people in whatever town or community that you arrive at?
So my trade, we're tri-service, so Army, Navy, Air Force, we all get trained the same. But pretty much we are just medics for the Defence Force,
And you spoke you spoke a little bit about, I guess, the reasons for you to join in the medical field, in the medical capacity. Why the Navy? Why I guess not the Army or the Air Force or sticking with St John? So why specifically joining the Royal New Zealand Navy as a medical assistant?
Well, I think my dad definitely did play a big part in that. So my dad was a gunner in the Navy back in the day, and I guess I just was brought up with all his stories. And I got to a point, I went to uni for a bit, and I was like, oh no, this isn't really for me. So that's when I thought, I'll give Navy a go. And I'm always been keen, helping people and stuff. So I thought, I'll see how medic goes, and
And I guess if I come to you, Tia, the motivational aspirations for you in joining the Navy, and in particular becoming a chef. I guess the schools from the PA, from the marae helped in your chosen career field.
Like Hannah said, we had a lot of family like Claude and Uncle Claude, Big Claude, we're all in, and I used to spend some of my holidays in Whangapuro watching them boss all the recruits around. So I just thought, yeah, I want to be that person bossing them. Well, I didn't. I'm not now, but it just gave me something to look at. And they always lived a good life and travel and had fun. And I was like, I want that. So yeah, but the cooking, I actually wanted to join as a medic at first, but they weren't. So medic and chef were my two. So Hannah's, yeah, cool. I was like helping people, Kai, yeah, all of it.
Nice. To you, Michael, did you have any other family members?
Ooh. Sorry, there. When it's in a quite. Mind there. They might have a bit of technical difficulties.
With your link, but that's okay because we'll get our own technicians to sort that out in the background. But if I can come to you, Claude, you've been in the Navy now for 16 years. It's a very long time being in the Navy. But just talk to us about joining the Navy or joining the Defence Force. You know, what was your inspiration, your aspirations in joining the Navy?
Yeah, so my uncle will probably crack up at this, but my uncle pretty much kicked me into the Navy. And I joined the Navy in 2006, but prior to that, I'd done a limited services volunteers course, which is a 6-week life skills course. From there, I joined the Navy. I was real apprehensive in joining because our Uncle Steve Rickards and Christy Whare, he took us up to watch a graduation parade. And I was watching all of them. I was like, this is too hard for me. I can't do that. Then when I actually did get in there, I found, having a structured life is quite easy. Everything's set. You've always got a plan. So yeah, I joined the Navy, had some awesome times, and in 2019, I ended up putting in to be an instructor at that limited volunteers course. So I went full circle from being a trainee into being an instructor, and I just posted out of there early last year. And it's one of those things that I've ticked off my bucket list and I always wanted to do. And also the travel opportunities in the Navy. I remember the first ever time when I got posted straight away after training, and I was to go to Singapore. I remember my first buzzing out, coming from Tikwiti, buzzing out, going to Hamilton, seeing all the big buildings there. My first trip was over to Singapore, seeing all that huge city. It was a real eye-opener.
Nice, and I think that's one of the key aspects about joining an arm of the New Zealand Defence Force is that it'll certainly take you around the world. And I think we've sorted out the technical issues with you, Michael, because we're just talking about motivation and aspirations and the reasons why you got into the Royal New Zealand Navy, and you see that you're with Te Kaha, and we know that Te Kaha has been quite busy lately. So can you just share with us your reasons for getting into the Navy?
Yep, of course I can. On my father's side, they were in the services, so we had army, and the uncles and auntie would get around and have their talks, stories. I followed the uncle in the Navy because his work stories involved a warm bed every night and meals and 2 showers a day, as well as just that pride in service to our country followed as well.
Nice, Kapai.
Yeah.
And I guess it's something similar for you, Lance Corporal Rehua Brocker. Have you come from a family of people having served in the Defence Force? What was your reasoning for joining the army?
Oh, it was a hard one. I was just chasing dreams after high school for sporting career commitments, But after 2-3 years of university, I decided I wanted to go into the services. I've come from a 4th generation of army from my father's side, and then also my old lady was ex-sparky in the Navy for I think it was a good 6 years. So I made the decision. I thought I would go Navy first, but I kind of realised I didn't like the big cities, didn't really like Auckland, so that was out of the option. And I didn't like flying much, so it gave me that one option, and I really enjoyed hunting. So the army was that option, even though that we like that. The downfall of it is being cold, wet, and miserable all the time, especially if you went into those combat roles. But it was an awesome experience. It's any part of the services. Like you can ask any one of us, and we would have told you a huge yarn about our stories of our basic training that we've experienced in our time.
And you kind of touched on the fact that you were, looking at the Navy, heading into a Navy of the New Zealand Defence Force. And if we take a look around our screen tonight, we kind of seem to be dominated by, people from the Royal New Zealand Navy. So does that mean that is the Navy the number one choice of arm or code to get into when you join the Defence Force? I see lots of smiles. So do I take that as a yes?
No comment.
I don't know the numbers, so yeah, no comment.
If I come to you, Claude, what do you think is the attraction to the Navy? Because we do seem to have a lot of whanaunga in the Navy. So what is it that inspires our people to head that way?
I'd say the travel opportunities. It's got heaps to do with it. That's what all the recruiters, that's what they pipe on about, is do heaps of travel. So you work Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're in a port overseas. You can go be a tourist for a weekend, come back to work on Monday, go to the next port. That's a huge sell for us. And I don't know about the Auckland one, though. Yeah, I'm getting sick of it.
Now, I know that we've got a number of personnel from the Royal New Zealand Navy. Have you guys all worked together? Have you been on the ship together? Have you served beside each other? Have you all eaten some of Tia's kai? Have you guys worked it all together?
Yeah, I'll start off. Yeah, so myself and Mike, we all done a promotion course together. And we were kind of like the grey men of the course, but we all graduated together. And the first time I met Mike was he was driving his tractor and he was reading some Otrahonga geese. And I noticed, this fella's from Otrahonga. Who's this fella? And that's how we've kind of met, and we've got on ever since. Stay close, stay tight.
Nice, and I guess that's relatively important, Michael. That you see people in the service that you recognise, and just having other whānau just it must be some great deal of moral support for you in the Navy.
Yeah, it's always good when you cross paths with someone. You can stop, you have a chat. You might not have seen it in a while, but you have, like every other service, you've built those memories with them. You reflect on what you've done in the past, and then catch each other up on what you've done recently. And that's quite good. Like all of our services, we all have different units that we branch out to. So it's just a matter of time if we all come back and catch up together. That's always a good time. However you do it. Yeah, if it's over a kai, or if it's over a beverage, it's good.
Indeed. And Tia, you kind of just touched on this a little bit earlier on. When you're all working together, I guess terms such as auntie and Uncle Claude can't be used. So you've got to address particular people with their particular titles and roles. Would that be correct, Tia?
Yeah. So Monty, Pio, Piriosa, he's our top man in this chat at the moment, and then I'll go Claude, leader, I'll call him leader, and then carry on like that. But yeah, you can't really use those terms if the higher ranks around, but if you're just talking to each other and you're comfortable or no one's listening over your shoulder, you can say the whole uncle and use the names.
Nice. And for those that are in senior roles, like leading seamen and petty officer, are you able to, I guess, kind of show a little bit of favoritism to your whanaunga in any way, shape, or form? You can.
Oh, I do. I'll give them extra kai, but I don't know about them.
An extra riwai or extra steak?
Yeah, you want 2 meat choices or 3? No. No, yeah.
And I guess for you, Hannah, because you see that you started with the Navy just not too long ago. It must be encouraging for you knowing that you've got whanaunga in the service, in the Navy, that you can call upon for guidance and support. So how is that for you, knowing that they're there for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I think especially when I joined in basic, they see my last name, and I had like a lot of the instructors and stuff asking me, oh, is this your dad? Like, so that was good. One of my instructors was Cody Wihinatai. So yeah, he looked after me in basic for sure.
Nice. And I know for you, Lance Corporal Rehua Brocker, you're the only one here from the New Zealand Army, but I don't want you to feel left out. And I guess the New Zealand Army and the New Zealand Navy and the Air Force, you all must come together at some stage. So would it be fair to say that you've worked alongside our other whanaunga here at some point?
Oh yes, definitely. I've worked alongside many of them throughout my whole career, like especially in the combat role with the helos, with the Air Force, and going around with those crazy things, the Hercs. Oh, they're quite annoying. And then also going on the boats to New Caledonia and Malaysia with the Navy. It was also awesome to go on those experiences. Especially as a PTI, we do a course, same as the medics. With tri-service as well. So we also do a course with the Navy and the Air Force as well in Woodburn, which is an Air Force base, for around 6 months. So we have the opportunity to bond and get to learn their ways, and also different kinds of drills. Especially in Navy drills and Air Force drills is quite different to the Army ways of learning as well. So it was awesome to experience all the different types of cultures and morale and service members, really.
Now, I know that you've been in the New Zealand Army for a few years now, and you actually did a little bit of a recruitment stint in Te Kuiti recently. Just with your time in the New Zealand Army, just how much... how important is it to have people from Maniapoto serving in the New Zealand Defence Force? Because we're, Te Kuiti and Piopio and Otorohanga, we're very, very small towns. But yeah, how important is it to see one of your own in these leading roles?
It's very important. It's a proud moment just seeing everyone on here as well, especially seeing the opportunities that we can get outside of our community. For myself, I came here looking to grab as many people, and I was satisfied to just grab one person to join the services. I managed to bump into 3 people in the last couple of years who's joined the services from our stint in Te Kuiti. So it is satisfying. It's humbling to see. For myself, it's always giving back to my people, and I'll do as much as I can to make sure that a lot of our whānau gets those opportunities, especially if I can help out in our kind of organisation, which is our New Zealand Defence Force.
Now, I know for you, Claude, I've seen you at ANZAC Day parades and ceremonies in uniform, and I also see our rangatahi. When they see you, they're all in awe, because we don't normally see our Defence Force in full uniform in Te Kuiti or at a dawn parade. So what is that feeling like for you? You know, when you're in uniform, when you're out in public, and you have these rangatahi, these tamariki looking up at you, saying, I want to be like him one day. How proud is that for you?
Oh, extremely proud just hearing that. Usually I'm a bit standoffish and all of that kind of stuff, but geez, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, I just really love coming back home, and any opportunity I can get to come back home and represent the Navy and however I can, and even get rangatahi to come up and see how we live and how everything rolls up here. Now, that's something I'm keen to start doing a bit more often. I've got some friends, D and Joel, who are working down home, and I'll try and link up with them and try and get something going, something moving, and yeah, let's start bringing more people over to the Army, over to Navy, wherever. Just an opportunity, so that same opportunity that our Uncle Steve and Christy Whare gave me.
And I guess for you, Tia, it's a similar thing of just I guess following in the footsteps from those the generations before you, but in the same token, you're being an inspiration to our tamariki and rangatahi. So how was it for you when you're out in public in full uniform?
Oh, like Claude said, you do feel really proud, and you hope that people not see you, but they see what you're representing and what you've been taught, and hope that maybe you just inspire one person to go and join, because it's an awesome opportunity, and you get, like as Claude said, just so many good things come out of it, and open your eyes to the world a bit more. And even though it's in Auckland and all that, Army and Air Force, wherever you go, it's good opportunity, and you just learn a lot from it. And you are really, really proud when you're in the uniform, especially at ANZAC Day.
And we'll talk about ANZAC Day very shortly. But if I can come to you, Hannah, you've joined in the medical field with the Royal New Zealand Navy. Tell us a little bit about the aspirations that you want to achieve in the medical field with the Navy. How far or how high can you go?
Oh, well, I think first off, I've still got another year of training, so need to get past that. But when I come back to Devonport, of course, just like really keen to get onto ship. I don't mind what ship, just anything. Yeah.
And I guess just talking about the ship, how long is your postings, or does that really depend on what the situation is at the moment or at that given time?
Yeah, I think it would just depend. So initially, when I go back to Devonport, I'll be posted to the Defence Health Centre, and then when the time comes, they'll post me to ship, and it can just vary the time on ship. Yeah.
And Michael, you said that you were attached or assigned to Te Kaha. How long is a stint, or how long is an assignment that you serve on a ship?
It all depends on personnel availability, but currently what they try to do is do a 2-year to unit and 1 year training for your next level, next promotion, and they try to do that 2-year on, 1 year training, 2 years out, 1 year's training. I've currently been there for 1 year so far, just shy of 1 year on Te Kaha. So maybe looking at towards the end of this year or sort of mid next year to come off and continue on of training.
And Claude, you've been in the Navy for a number of years now. Are you able to maybe share with us what was your favourite ship? Can we ask that question, or do you have to remain neutral?
Yeah. So I'd say my favourite trip, where I got the best trips out of, was definitely HMZ Otago. It's the workhorse of the fleet. It's a little ship, but does the most work. But yeah, I got to travel down to Antarctica on there, all through the Pacific, through Australia, and yeah, and just done a lot of work on there, helping Department of Conservation and that, Ministry of Fisheries, Customs, just kept us busy. And after you finish a hard working day, you felt like you've achieved something. Yeah.
Nice. Now we all know that we've kind of come the other side of the COVID pandemic, and because of COVID, we haven't been able to honor and celebrate ANZAC Day, which is an important day for all people that serve, and for all New Zealanders and of course Australians. So maybe if I was to start with you, Lance Corporal. What has it been like for you not being able to attend ANZAC over the last few years because of COVID?
We did last year. It was the year before. It was a very hard thing for our soldiers, especially when COVID first hit New Zealand. For us, we just pretty much kept. We all just stood at attention outside our houses, and pretty much Zoom chat each other for the whole entire day. For us, especially for the infantry side of things, it felt like we were living that kind of life. It felt like we knew what that was like, especially with the training we were doing, digging holes, trying to dig holes under like an hour. It gives you nightmares sometimes, and especially just going out shooting a lot and just pack marching for hours, for days, and hear everything like that. So going through their pain and then just acknowledging it and understanding what they've gone through has given us a realization of what our tupuna, what our people have gone through. So it has changed. Well, being in the New Zealand Defence Force and knowing what they have done has changed my perspective and changed my my wairua when it comes to ANZAC Day. And like I said, it's been hard because the best thing about ANZAC Day was hearing stories that was that our elderly, our tupuna, our kaumātua told us that they've never actually told their own whānaus. And that was a humbling experiences that I've actually had the privilege of hearing myself through being in the Defence Force.
And if I come to you, Claude, because you must have experienced a number of ANZAC Day celebrations over the years, and not forgetting that we've had COVID, and so we haven't been able to celebrate, to recognise the day. What was it like for you during that period when New Zealand was in lockdown and we couldn't gather on ANZAC Day?
Yeah, that was hard. Just been watching those updates from the Prime Minister, seeing when they'll change levels and how everything's going to be going for the 25th of April, and hearing that we had to still social distance and do all of that kind of stuff. So pretty hard. And ANZAC Day, I'd always like to get down to the RSC and talk with some of our veterans on some of their experiences and just share stories. So that was hard not being able to do that, because that's all we've done for since I've joined in 2006, every single year. Yeah.
And what is it like for you, Tia? You've been in the Navy now for a few years. Have you experienced an ANZAC Day, and what was it like, especially over the last 2 years, not being able to recognise such a significant day for everyone?
Yeah. I was able to luckily do one at home about 4 or 5 years ago. So that was beautiful. The Te Kuitipa one's always the best, and you feel, I don't know, if you just feel a bit emotional when you're there, and you try and you hear the stories and you put yourself in the space of whoever's telling the story or who the story came from, and you're thinking, if I was there, what would I do, sort of thing. And it's just a special day. ANZAC, sorry, not ANZAC. COVID was hard, but yeah, I feel like this year will be a lot better for all of us, and we'll just be able to celebrate it and remember those that who lost their lives for us and that are serving and all that. So it'll be good this year to be able to go to one and celebrate it and remember those.
Mm. Now, Hannah, you've been in the service for a few short years, and I guess you started in the midst of this global pandemic. Have you had a chance to experience an ANZAC Day whilst you've been in the Navy?
Yes, so last year I came back to TK for ANZAC Day, which was awesome. Got to commemorate that day with whānau. But the year before that, I was in basic training, which was when COVID first hit. And it was hard on basic because it was our first ANZAC Day in the service. So it was quite special for us. But we ended up having to stand by our pits and kind of listen to everything that was happening over the radio. It was hard. It was hard.
Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about ANZAC Day shortly, and I guess what everyone will be doing on that day. But Michael, ANZAC Day, as we all know, is a significant day for many countries, for many people, and for many reasons. But what does it mean for you? What does ANZAC mean for you as someone who serves their country?
Oh, it's just it's the history, the remembrance, they did it for us. I don't really have the words for it. That's just how it feels. Like that they did it for us, and I can only imagine what they went through. So I look to them in awe, and just them really, and do whatever I can do. And in whatever way I can do, just to thank their sacrifice.
Yeah, indeed. And I know for you, Otahi, that you spoke about the generations before and recognising the service that they gave to whānau, to country. And I guess for ANZAC Day, it's more than just seeing a name on a cenotaph. And as Michael alluded to, it's kind of hard to put things into words and into perspective. And I guess it's just something that you've just got to experience. You've just got to be there in the moment. And you've been in a number of ANZAC Day services. So again, it must be a very touching but very proud time for you to be associated with ANZAC Day parades and ceremonies.
Yeah, it's a lot of whakapapa. Especially, I don't know if it's the same thing for the Navy Basic, but in the New Zealand Army Basic, the recruit courses, each platoon is given a VC name. So the VC name that our platoon was given was Elliot VC platoon, which we had to research and everything. And he came from a place called Fielding down in Manawatu. And then we also have our also talking about Māori, VC Ngārimu, who was also another platoon. So we had so all our platoons in basic training was named after VC winners and past people who fought in our wars in World War I and World War II. So that's our way of commemorating our people who's gone the war and who has experienced it. And it's also given me a lot of privilege and pride to actually just represent that platoon when I was in basic training. So I'm always happy when I hear that name as well. It's because that's where I started, and that's where I actually that's the first connection I have when I came into the New Zealand Army.
Now we all know that we haven't been able to, honour Anzac Day previously, and that's due to, the COVID restrictions. But this year, Anzac Day will be somewhat special for a number of communities that are able to honour Anzac Day. Claude, if I can come to you, just wondering, where will you be stationed on Anzac Day? And just wondering whether you've got any particular responsibilities or mahi on Anzac Day this year.
Not as of yet, but if there's anything happening in town or in Tikawiri, I'm coming back on Sunday. My whānau don't know yet, but I'll come back down on Sunday and I'm on leave for the week, so I'll be in town.
Nice.
And if there's something going on, then I'll be there.
Nice. And I'm sure they'll be looking forward to seeing you back home. What about you, Tia? How will you be spending Anzac Day? And is there any particular mahi that you'll be doing on Monday?
I'll be in Rotorua with whānau there for this Anzac, but I'm not too sure if we're actually allowed to march or do anything at the Anzac ceremonies at the moment. Could change before Anzac though, just due to COVID.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Hannah, how will you be recognising Anzac Day this coming Monday?
So I'll be back down in Burnham on Monday. So we'll go to the parade, and then afterwards we will go and socialise at the bar.
Mm-hmm. So being based at Burnham Military Camp, one would only assume that there's a particular parade that happens at the camp, if I can call it that. Is that the right terminology?
Yeah, they have their own parade at the camp. Yeah.
Nice. And what about for you, Michael? You've got a particular role. So does that mean you've got particular mahi to do on Anzac Day?
Actually, on the Sunday itself, I'm duty. So I'll be on board overnight Sunday through to Monday morning. So I will miss the dawn service. I'm going to come home to the family back here in Auckland. And if we make it in time, if there's something available, we may go march at a civic service. And just the thing with Tia there, yes, we can march in the parades. However, after functions, unfortunately, we're not allowed to attend.
Just talking about Anzac Day, because I guess as a civilian, we see our Defence Force personnel. I understand it's called mount the cenotaph, and you can correct me if I'm not using the correct terminology. But just wondering, just by show of hands, has anyone stood to attention or mounted the cenotaph? Is that correct?
That's that's kind of normal for us to do that in ceremonies and that.
And so is that open to anyone, no matter what rank you are, what arm you come from the New Zealand Defence Force? It's if you're available to stand to attention around the cenotaph, you can do so.
Yeah, they'll do that. Usually they'll have it pre-planned, so they might grab 4 people from a unit, grab a senior person, and that senior person will take charge of them and kind of mounts a cenotaph.
Nice. Well, no doubt everybody will be looking forward to this year's Anzac Day celebrations. And we know that there are a number of communities that will be out honouring Anzac Day, despite the fact that we've got COVID restrictions. And some people are choosing, some communities and some towns are choosing not to recognise Anzac Day just yet. But there are some places that will go ahead and have an Anzac Day recognition. So just before we wrap up, I just want to very quickly encourage everyone, our whānau, to get out and participate in an Anzac Day ceremony that's nearest you, whether that be the dawn ceremony, whether that be the day or the civic ceremony. If you have the time, it is certainly something to be a part of. But if you are intending on celebrating ANZAC Day, that it's really important that you find out what is happening in your town, in your community nearest you. And don't forget, as it has been mentioned, that ANZAC Day will return to Te Kuiti Pā for 2022, and pōwhiri will start at 5:30 a.m. The dawn ceremony will then follow, and of course something that everybody looks forward to, especially Tia, is breakfast at Te Kuiti Pā. And just on the side note that MFM will be bringing you live coverage of that event on Monday. But it's lovely to hear from you, or it's lovely just to get an insight of your mahi, your roles, and in particular what life is like in the Defence Force. So really appreciate the time, really appreciate your kōrero, and certainly an experience hearing from you all this evening. Just wondering, just to wrap up, if we could just come back to you all, just with your closing remarks in terms of final words to our whānau, to our whānau who have servicemen and women in the Defence Force, final words maybe to our rangatahi who are looking at joining a particular arm of the Defence Force. Yes, what would be your final comments? And if I can start with you, Hannah.
Yeah, first off, just thanks heaps for letting us come on here and having a talk with you tonight. What I'd say to maybe rangatahi out there that would like to join, just give it a go. There's just so many opportunities in the Defence Force. Yeah, and in regards to ANZAC Day, definitely come out to the dawn services, and yeah.
Ka pai tēnā koe. Thank you, Hannah. Tia, any final words from you? Any words of inspiration for our rangatahi?
Thank you for having us on here. I reckon give it a try, like Hannah said. If you were wanting to pick either service, Navy, Army, or Air Force, you're going to find something that you love in it, and you'll learn a lot. So either one of the three Defence Force will be good for anyone, and you'll learn something from either one. You can always change if it's not you, but it'll be good for you. Give it a try.
Ka pai tēnā koe. Thank you for the mahi that you do. And to you, Claude, what would be your words to our whānau here in Maniapoto, who are wanting to, I guess, follow in your footsteps and see the sights that you've seen?
Okay, whānau, just with joining the military and that, the big part of where it all stops for heaps of us is the paperwork just to get to the front door. We get to the front door, it's all easy as from there. You'll learn on the way, you'll make heaps of good friends, you'll all gain their resilience together, and you can go on to have an awesome career. So as I said, the hardest part is doing all your admin before making it to the front door to start the mahi. And to all our whānau out there, rain or shine, young or old, make it down to our ANZAC service, and much love to all my whānau out there. Maniapoto whānau. Kia ora.
Tēnā koe, and we look forward to seeing you back home early next week. For you, Lance Corporal, we know that you've been to Te Kuiti before, trying to recruit rangatahi into the New Zealand Army, but just what would be your words to whānau out there who might be sitting on the fence, if you like, that whether to join the New Zealand Army or any particular Defence Force?
So for us itself, for Maniapoto itself, I feel like we are designed for the services. We have all the skills possible to for the services. As you can see, we brought up with hunting, diving, all those kind of aspects of Te Mana Māori or Te Iwi Māori. So I feel like this is the place to recruit people like Te Kuiti, Pio Pio, Otorahanga, all these places. So give it a crack. I mean, the hardest part is signing up. Like, it took me 6 months of paperwork just to get myself signed up, and I could have given up so many times It's just that mindset. Make sure you sign up and you'll get there. But like I said to the whānau, we're designed for the services, and services will take you somewhere.
Nice, Kapai. Thank you for your words of encouragement there. And I know that we've got a number of rangatahi who are keen to join up, not only the New Zealand Army, but all of our defence forces. And if I can come to you, Michael, what would be your words to our whānau here in Maniapoto, to rangatahi who are looking at a career that will give them life experiences and travel around the world?
First of all, I'd just like to thank the whānau that sacrifice their whānau like ourselves and send us out. To stay at home while we go out there, that's a big sacrifice for them as well. To our servicemen, our veterans that have left, thank you for your service, and to those currently serving, thank you for yours. So my message to our rangatahi or to any whānau out there is it just doesn't have to be the 3 military services. We have our emergency services out there, and police, fire brigade, and the ambulance side. They are still part of our whānau. We still class them in the defence force side. Like everyone has said, you just have to make a start somewhere. If you don't get that foot in the door and you don't keep going through that door, you're just going to come to a standstill, and we're going to put it in the too hard basket, whānau. So if it looks like you, if you think, I'll just give it a go, why not? Come out, make some memories. It's going to get tough at times, but hey, that's where you make those memories. Kia ora.
Kia ora. And that's certainly a key thing, is making memories. And I know that a number of rangatahi are looking forward to making those long-lasting memories. And as many of you have mentioned before, there have been many generations that have served in the Defence Force, and those memories will certainly live on. And I just want to say thank you all for sharing your final thoughts and just giving us an insight into your mahi, into your respective roles and your respective departments within the New Zealand Defence Force. And I know that for all of us back here at home, we're just so proud that you all continue to wear Maniapoto on your armbands, and you take Maniapoto with you wherever you go. And I know that everyone is just equally excited to see you back home. But certainly from all of us here in Maniapoto, we acknowledge you and we thank you for your dedication and service, not only to your whānau and loved ones, but certainly to the country as a whole. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I te iwi, that's Tia Campbell Ricard's able chef from the Royal New Zealand Navy, Hannah Shrank, able medical assistant from the Royal New Zealand Navy, leading seaman combat specialist Wehi, also from the Royal New Zealand Navy, Petty Officer Montgomery, weapon technician from the Royal New Zealand Navy, and Lance Corporal Rehua Brock, personal trainer with the New Zealand Army. Thank you very much for your attendance and participation and joining what has been a special broadcast for us this evening. It gives me great pleasure now to hand over to Petty Officer Montgomery to wrap our session for tonight. Nō reira, e te rangatira, kei te whātu te rākau ki a koe, e Petty Officer Montgomery ki te whakakapi tō tātou wānanga i tēnei pō. Nō reira, kei a koe te wā.
They shall grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Remember them.